Zander, what sketches do you want to do this week?
Well, I was thinking we could do something for Apollo 13. You know, it's the 50th anniversary this week.
Okay. What would you want to do with that? Is that the whole idea?
I think that's the whole idea at this point. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we come back to that? Any other ideas?
Did you know that the Saturn V booster had 3 wires running down the entire length of it, and if 2 of them were broken off, then it would trigger the auto abort feature on the rocket. When they tested the launch escape system, the first time it blew up only a few hundred feet up in the air, and it successfully aborted itself. Yeah, actually, so the reason for the accident was multi-part. Part of the computer ring got dropped onto the bulkhead. One of the fans that stirred up the oxygen tanks to cause a short circuit, so it caused the oxygen tank to explode. You know, the space inside the Apollo modules was very small. Like 3 guys to share it for almost a week, and it was very difficult to get by in such a small space, obviously.
I'm sure it was with other people that you have to live with 24/7.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay. There were 7 different stations around the world to keep radio contact with the Mercury capsule. In Gemini, they only needed 3, and by Apollo, they got in worldwide networks, so they only needed the one in Houston, actually. Yeah, I imagine it was pretty difficult to live with those guys in such a small space for that long of a time. I mean,
Yeah, you know what? That actually gives me an idea. I think we can do something for Apollo 13. We'll do like a bit of a simulation. Okay, so stand up here.
Oh, okay.
All right, and then move, and then here.
Whoa,
We're gonna put you into space, just like that. You feel like you're inside the lunar module in the cramped quarters.
Are you gonna let me out?
Probably, but first you have to solve the Apollo 13 problem. All right?
What?
So using what you've got in there, you got to figure out a way to survive. All right. And now I will write some actual sketches. Honestly, he was the one that wanted to take part in the Apollo 13 mission. I thought it would be a little bit helpful for him to understand exactly what it was like. So I think it's good for him.
Hello? Zander has trapped me in this closet. He's somehow secured the door from the outside. Is that Beat Saber music? Lucas! Lucas, are you playing by Oculus out there?
Got worried he might get hungry and need some sustenance, so I got him a Cliff Bar here. It's about 300 calories, pure fat, sugar, and good nutrition. There you go.
Lucas!
Yep, you got to figure your way out with just that.
So I have this Cliff Bar. My only source of food for now. I don't have any water. There's some condensation happening on the door here. I think this might be my only source of water. Hour 5, I think. I appear to be holding up all right so far. I have yet to figure out how
You built the CO2 scrubber yet?
If there was a lesson I was supposed to take away from this, I don't know. I don't think there are that many lessons left for me to learn, to be honest.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Zander and Sander. I'm Landon.
And I'm Zander. So, Landon, tell me what you got up to this week.
I basically did nothing.
Nothing. You know what I did?
Did you also do nothing?
I did do nothing, but I'll bet I did it better than you did.
I would beg to differ. Just because I did nothing outside, and it was snowy and sunny this week, which is great.
I don't know if I can argue with that. Well, folks, you heard it here first. Landon's better at doing nothing than I am.
I've had a lot of practice.
Now, you may notice that Zander isn't present on the set with us right now. And the reason is he's still still learning his lesson, I suppose you could say. He did express a desire to learn more about Apollo 13, to expand upon that history. And so I just wanted to give him the chance. And so, yeah, I think we'll leave that where it is and continue on to the rest of the show. All right. Now, first we're gonna get up some fan mail. We have here an email. This is from Abigail Lowry, also known as Gnabigail, and it says, "To Skylar and Graves, it is well settled that we are fans of Zander and Sander. So now that we have settled our differences, we shall band together. We shall form a collective. Our next course of action then shall be to expand the collective. I will attempt to gather the cult known as concert choir members into our splendiferous assemblage. All will be fans of Zander and Sander. None shall escape. Lots of love to Zander and Sander, Gnabigail." Thank you very much.
Noble.
Very noble. And I do hope that more of you will join the fan base and take Gnabigail's example and spread like a festering, I was going to say plague.
Boil?
Boil.
I don't know.
I didn't like to use plague in this.
Do plagues,
in the current times.
do plagues fester?
That depends. Do they fester?
I think boils fester.
Boils do fester more effectively than plagues do.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Spread like a plague, if you will.
Okay. Spread like a plague. We're talking to all of you.
All of them. All
Alrighty.
10 of you.
All 10 of you. And all right, that's all of the emails we have now.
Hey,
Oh, hey,
you didn't take
hey.
me out of the closet, Landon. Get,
What? Yeah, well,
Go on,
Xander-
break the live
it's-
stream.
Go
go on,
Well,
break
that's
the live
because
stream.
you're back. That's so good to hear because we have your surprise birthday celebration already. That's why I had to lock you up. We were getting that ready, and now
Where's the surprise?
well, it's all right. Bring the snacks in. Oh shoot, I forgot to hire the servants for tonight. 1 second.
Well, you know, he's nothing if not thoughtful. Right? Right, guys? Yeah. I actually haven't looked at the script at all.
First up, we have
Oh.
the birthday cake. Is always first. So these are birthday cake flavored protein bars.
Right.
And I thought you would enjoy that a lot.
I think actually, this is a great gift. However, I think I got these in the mail from my mom about 3 days ago.
Well, yeah, but I'm the one that's giving it to you right now. So you enjoy.
Okay, we're gonna take a little bit of a gander. This is like an ASMR video for you guys. Let's just crinkle that wrapper. Look at that. Solid all the way through. It's kind of like coffee, maybe?
All right, next up is your
Oh,
favorite
wow.
peanut butter sandwich, except in cake form. It's much better, you could say.
Is this just
That's a
5 slices of bread with peanut butter?
That's a giant peanut butter sandwich. You love peanut butter sandwiches so much, I thought I would just make it bigger.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm so glad you like it. All right, I'm just gonna set that right there. Now this is just as much popcorn as I could make for your birthday.
You know that I don't like popcorn, right?
Okay, well, let's get to some messages from the fans. Now, we happen to tell some people that it's your birthday.
Oh,
And,
wow. Yeah, I never tell anybody that, actually. It's a
well,
kind of a state secret, actually.
that's what that call was right before we went on air. It said unknown number. Must have been the FBI. Okay, so first up, we have a message from Bree, who says, Zander, happy flip-flapping early day of birth. I know it's not ideal, but I hope you're able to make the best of it and still party hard. Go wild. Don't let this virus keep you from celebrating accordingly. There's a party emoji, I think it's pinata emoji, and a birthday hat.
Well, thank you so much, Bree. Actually, I will not let this stop me from celebrating. My birthday tradition is actually quite simple. I take off my shirt and I run through the halls of the hospital in which I was born. I go up and down. I visit every single room. I take a deep breath and smell the smells, see the sights, and drink some hand sanitizer.
All right. Well, I can't wait for you to do that later. All
I
right.
have to
Next
postpone
up,
that one.
we have a message from Emily. This does not appear to be on the theme of birthday, but it says, "Who would win in a fight to the death, Xander or Sander?"
That's unrelated to the
Unrelated to the birthday, unless of course you.
unrelated to the class session you had today, in which somebody composed a poem about us fighting.
Yes, indeed. Actually, I
death,
wanted
I
to.
think.
Yeah, this has been brought up recently, and so I thought I would read the poem that was composed about this specific subject.
Mm.
It is titled "When Xander Stabbed Lucas in the Back," I think, or that's the first line. It felt more personal than that, because the close quarters were supposed to be safe, but apparently there were many things that Lucas falsely embraced. An example of this was that the whole class saw his fist punch Xander up to his nose. The Zoom is still on, and although the fight was harsh, we all still stayed to watch. Now we thank you to Liz Ellis, who sent that in for submission to the show.
Yeah.
That's not true. I just stole it and decided to give her credit. All right, but we are going to get back to some birthday messages.
Oh, I'm so excited.
This one comes from Gideon,
Hi, Gideon.
who says, "I actually hate Xander, but he lets me play VR games, so he's cool. Just kidding, I love him more than anything.
I thought that Gideon hated me for a second. I don't know how I would have gone on.
Except for the VR games he lets me play.
Oh,
Those are my number one love.
Of course.
Understandable.
That's totally understandable. Half-Life Alyx is probably the best game I've ever played.
All right.
Besides Super Guitar Maniac Deluxe 4.
This one comes from Eleanor. Says, "Haha, you're lame. The you're is possessive, so that's even worse."
My lame what?
That's a good question. But she added, "Happy birthday."
Okay. Forgiven.
All right.
This time.
Lexi says, "Happy birthday to Lucas."
Lexi's right over there, guys. You can't see her, but Lexi's right off camera.
That's a secret.
Shh. You think it's... I was lying. You can't see off the camera. You can't believe you
It's
believe
just
me.
us.
Yeah, it's just us two and Landon, who's operating the stream.
Hi.
Hi, Landon.
All right, this one comes from Beef. It says, to whom it may concern, in parentheses, Zander, the happiest of birthdays to you. Although your birthday is not for a number of days yet, quarantine has caused time to cease existing to take this opportunity to celebrate constantly. Wishing you well and sending love."
That's true. Thank you, Rebecca. Actually, it's all of our birthdays and all of our unbirthdays right now.
I want you all to sit with that information.
Just think about it.
All right, that is all the birthday messages we have right now.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right.
22. No more milestones left. Except for senior dinners. That's 65, 55. I don't know. My parents get them now, so however old they are.
Yeah. Well, now that the birthday is concluded, we're just gonna take.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. No, that's enough. Yeah. I agree that that's enough.
We'll just leave it a little bit on.
Yeah.
How about that?
Right there. All right. Well, now we're gonna have a little special segment. We had a third party come into the apartment. Don't worry, completely sanitized from head to toe, and interview us each individually about what we thought of each other. So we haven't seen this yet, but we're gonna watch those interviews right now of what we think of each other. So let's take a look at that.
Do I consider myself a good roommate? Let me ask you this. When you think of all the great roommates in television history, you know, the friends from Friends, you know, the cast of Seinfeld, the Frasier brothers from Frasier, what do you think of? None of them are as loving, caring, and affectionate as I am towards Lucas. I would definitely consider myself one of the greats in terms of television roommates, for sure. I think my cultural impact is going to last a lot longer than any of those. And I've barely even gotten started yet. I have a lot of life ahead of me as a television roommate.
What did Xander say? Did he? I think that I've gotten very good at it at this point in my life. I've had plenty of roommates, mostly my siblings. But I think that
Honestly, the main thing that I contribute to this relationship is my dishwashing, and I think I'm pretty proficient at that. No, it's not the only thing, of course. There's all of my moral support, which I think comes through the strong solidarity that I show with Zander. Might get lost sometimes because it's that silent kind of solidarity, so it's a little bit up to him whether he sees it or not. But I think there's a bunch of things that I could talk about that I just don't have time for.
I'd say it's not just for the show, it's from my heart, you know? It's a genuine part of who I am. It's not just a character, unlike all those actors. You know what another word for acting is? Lying. I'm not lying when I say that I love Zander. I feel the deepest emotions that one man can feel for another man in my heart.
I think that he knows how much I bring, but a lot of my work is done behind the scenes. He is sleeping a lot in the morning, and that's when I end up scrubbing the apartment top to bottom.
Does Zander feel the same way about me? I would say, of course he does. He loves me right back, and that's what makes our bond so special. I know he does. I know he does.
He is definitely a roommate. I mean, what is good? Good is relative. He's a good person, and he's a roommate. If you want to take two of those words and put them together, I can't stop you. There are factors that would weigh against him. There are things that he doesn't do quite as well. He tries to wash the dishes sometimes, and even though I can't see the difference, I know there's something wrong. I try not to talk about it. I just rewash every dish he's ever washed.
Is Zander a good roommate? Well, I'd say out of the 5 or 6 roommates I've had throughout my college career, he's definitely in the top 3. Top 3, for sure. Yeah.
Welcome back. Now, another thing that we are celebrating this week is that Zander got a job.
Yeah, I did, actually. And Lucas is still on the lookout, but fortunately, we have the perfect thing to help practice. And in fact, we're going to bring on 2 other candidates who are also looking for jobs. Come on in, Lexi and Carter.
Yeah, let's give them a hand, everybody.
Okay, so in this scenario, I am going to be the interviewer, and these are the candidates searching for jobs. So what these guys are going to do is they're going to construct their resumes. They've got a hand of 3 cards right now, and they say different things on them, like buffet, jacked forearms, or shed. Now what they're going to do is they're going to, during the first period here, they're going to exchange cards from here, their hand, one at a time, with cards that are in the table, so that they can build a 3-card resume that best represents them as a person. Then after that, I'm going to interview them for a particular job, and they are going to all try their best, and I will choose who is the best candidate for that job at the end. All right, so you guys can take a look at your cards, and I'm going to draw the job.
You like popcorn?
I do.
What are you doing? So I am hiring a dictator. So I want you to all build your best resume for a dictator, and
Do we exchange free for all?
you can free for all exchange as many cards as you want from the center there, but you have to end up with 3 cards in your hand exactly. Yeah. So this is of course how real life resume building works: is that you only get a certain amount of pool of qualifications in America, and you can choose them. But if you choose one thing, you have to drop another. You know, if you upgrade one skill, you have to get rid of another. You only have an inventory of 3 skills, obviously. So if you guys are done, let's get started on these interviews. All right, Lucas, come in and sit down. You're already here and sat down, so
Hi.
I want you to tell me all about yourself and why you would be qualified for the job of dictator.
Well, just let me tell you. First of all, I'm filthy rich, and you need to be filthy rich in order to attract the visibility of being knowledgeable, being successful, and you need people to follow you and believe in you. And obviously, if I got filthy rich, then I had to do something right.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Right there.
Next up, I have a God complex, and you need a God complex to dictate an entire country. Otherwise, the pressure will get to you. Lucky for me, I'm the equivalent of a god, and so no pressure can get to me because I'm all powerful.
Bold claims, yes.
Thirdly, I have a fancy hat, and everybody knows you can't be a dictator without a fancy hat, because you have to attract attention, you have to keep attention, and you have to be made fun of on the international stage.
That's true. Wow. Those are some pretty compelling reasons why you should be a dictator. However, I did notice, looking at your resume before you came in, that your resume does note that you have no sense of smell. Could you explain that real quick? How will this not be detrimental to you as a dictator?
Well, it actually happened in my military background, which is another thing that all dictators have to have, but not to pad my resume, but it was an explosion accident that was actually an attempt on my life. So obviously the wrong people want me dead. But it's not a problem now because I have enough not only taste testers but also smell testers, and I have a personal one that's always with me, so that he's just always whispering what it currently smells like.
Wow.
So it's like, it's a little bit of gas, it's fresh air right now, blah, blah, blah. Always there, never without that knowledge.
That's very quirky, I have to say. Quirky is a value we're looking for in a dictator. All right, next candidate, can you please sit down and introduce yourself? What's your name?
My name is Lexi.
Your name is Lexi.
Yeah.
That's a very plain name for a dictator, but we'll work with it.
Lexi the dictator.
Lexi the dictator.
Yeah, well, first of all, I have a soundproof room, which means that I can do all my dirty business up in there, and nobody will be able to hear it.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2 is I have a cold black heart,
Mm.
which is pretty self-explanatory. I don't care about anybody.
That's just your natural personality.
Yeah,
Understood.
yeah.
Understood.
I feel like that qualifies me.
It's coming through really well.
Yeah.
And lastly, I'm a millennial, and I ruin everything.
You've ruined absolutely everything. Hopefully,
There's one thing millennials do. It's ruin things.
Yeah, hopefully.
Especially industries.
Including the freedoms and rights of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's your main goal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next candidate. Can you introduce yourself real quick?
My name is Carter, but if I do receive this job, I will be changing it to Brutus.
Brutus.
Yes.
Well, Brutus. Yes. Tell me about yourself, Brutus.
You see how I'm wearing long sleeves today?
Yes.
I don't want to show off my biggest asset, my jacked forearms. Every dictator needs jacked forearms. It's the intimidation factor, really.
That is a big asset.
Yeah. I think that my dedication to the gym shows my dedication to oppressing people. I think they really correlate well. With that is my loose morals.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not afraid to do the dirty jobs, the things people don't want to see. Including that is torture. And I think my biggest weapon for this is I have a personal glee club, and there's nothing worse than watching a high school glee club practice. So if anyone crosses me, they're being subjected to weeks of glee club practice.
You know, I have to say that is truly evil. Sorry, I forgot real quick. One thing is that you listed on your resume that you were shallow. Can you explain that one real quickly? I'm sorry, I'll get right back to you.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to my cold black heart. I don't care enough to have conversations with people. I'd rather just,
Yeah, sorry. I was getting confused there. I was just glancing at the whole time you were talking. I should have been paying better attention. That does track. Anyway, yeah, back to your resume. That's pretty impressive. Glee clubs, gotta say, it's pretty nasty. However, I can't help but notice that you have room to grow. And I just wanna ask about this room to grow. What direction are you planning to grow?
Downward.
Just straight down.
And outward. I'm expanding the empire. Room to grow in every direction.
You know, I have to say,
Except up.
No
up. No up apparently. No. That's
you can't go up when you're at the top.
That's true. That's absolutely true. You know what? Actually, Brutus, I think that you are just a shoe-in for the job.
Thank you.
You got it right off the bat. Just straight in there. Glee club, expanding downward. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Are you hiring for any other jobs that
Yeah.
Lexi and I might apply for?
Yeah.
Actually, we are. And in the interest of fairness, I'll let you apply as well.
Thank you.
So, you know what, everyone, draw 3 more cards from this deck and get started building your resumes again. Yeah, there's 3 left.
After that, all right. Are you gonna tell us what job
I
we're?
need one more.
I need 2 more.
Unbelievable. Can't believe you would not be prepared for that's 3 cards right there. You would not be prepared for what's happening in the world today, which is you need a good resume. But you know what? I had some extra qualifications with me, so I saved you. That's for sure.
Are you gonna tell us what job we're applying for?
Yeah. In fact, before you get started on creating your resume, I should tell you the job so that you can tailor your resume. This one is flight attendant. As part of my empire, of course, I need flight attendants to attend my flights. You know, flying here, flying there. It's important stuff. So, what else? You can't fly without a flight attendant. You expect me to just go get my cranberry Sprite myself? Unbelievable. Can't do it. All right, is everybody ready? Has everybody got a resume constructed? All right, let's get this out. First candidate, come in, sit down. What's your name?
Carter.
Carter. It's Carter.
Yeah.
I just interviewed. I just hired a dictator named Carter. Actually,
I'm pretty sure his name was Brutus.
his name was Brutus. Must have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's horrible though. He's
Yeah.
great at his job.
I hear he's great at his
He
job.
had
He's
jacked
really
forearms.
kind of scary. Yeah, his forearms were huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
I actually bought this jacket from him because his forearms got too big for the sleeves.
Wow.
Huh.
I saw. Yeah.
That's why these are so small.
Yeah.
It's just a little skinny little noodle inside there.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Flight attendant does not matter if you are a skinny little noodle or a big jacked forearm man or woman or anything.
Yeah.
You know, you could be skinny or buff as a flight attendant. Both work. Anyway, yeah. Tell me about your resume. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to tell you that I am a huge action figure collector. But not just normal action figures. I only collect action figures of superheroes who can fly and world famous flight attendants.
Okay, so you've got a very kind of flight theme going
Yeah.
on here. Gotcha.
It's actually I've dedicated my entire life to flight.
Right.
I'm also a calendar model. I think this will come in really handy. People will see me walking through the aisles showing them the directions and they'll say, April's that way, March is that way. They'll know me. Everyone buys calendars.
Everyone does have to buy calendars unless they have a phone, in which case you don't have to, but hey, if you're looking to get a model calendar, I'm sure Carter's got you covered.
I'll be on it. And most importantly, I think this really fits me for this job. I fly.
Flies, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of incredible.
That's what led me to this lifestyle, is the fact that I've been flying since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think I could help attend other people who are trying to learn.
Trying to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I'm looking through your resume, actually, and I did note that it does say a slender frame on your resume, and I understand how that would work out in the job. I just wonder why you would put that on a resume for a flight attendant. You know, considering that we don't discriminate based on body type for ability to serve Sprite cranberries.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever flown? Have you ever sat in those seats?
I see.
When you put those armrests down, which is the considerate thing to do, I'm telling you that from the perspective of a future flight attendant, they're pretty narrow. So
That's
I think
true.
my slender frame would be very accommodating to anyone on the flight. If they also have a slender frame, we can
Right.
both sit in our seats comfortably. If anyone with me was not of slender frame, I'm allowing them room. It's considerate.
That's very
Yeah,
considerate.
and I think flight attendants should be
That's true.
considerate.
Being considerate, very important. Very important. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll get back to you shortly. Next candidate. Yes. So what's your name?
Leia.
Leia. Okay.
Leia over.
Leia over. Gotcha. You look very similar to another candidate I just interviewed for a dictator position. Named Lexi. Do you know her?
Yeah, no, that's the other side of the family. We don't talk.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Tell me about yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the first quality that makes me qualified for this position is that I'm a hot mess. I don't really need a lot of baggage to come with me on planes or flights or
You know,
planes
usually,
and flights.
usually I think of a hot mess as having a lot of baggage. Is this?
No.
No.
I don't. I'm
That's a wrong impression.
right. Exactly. No. Hot mess is a very good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The second is that I have soft hands, and that comes from all the take the one seatbelt, and then the clicker.
They haven't been hardened by the stresses of clicking on and clicking the seatbelt.
No, I moisturize every day after every
Excellent.
thing that I
excellent.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great to
The
hear.
last one is that I'm just plain stupid.
All right. Well, thank you for telling me about yourself. I was looking at your qualifications here, and I can't help but notice that you are actually an alien. Can you just explain that real quick?
Yeah, so my family is full of, the one side is dictators, and then the other side is aliens, and that's why we don't get along, because dictators and aliens are like the exact opposite, you know?
Right.
And
One's for the people, one's against the people.
exactly, and I feel like being an alien is actually an asset for me, because I understand a lot of different people. I've lived with humans my whole life, so I understand humans, but I also understand aliens.
Right. That's true. And we, as an airline, we do actually cater to a lot of aliens. We're not just an airline, but we're a space line as well.
Yeah.
Flights straight to space.
Yeah.
So actually, that is a really good qualification to have.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll get back to you within the week for sure.
Okay.
All right. Next candidate. Hello. What is your name?
Hi, I'm Zander.
Sander.
That's right.
Great. And you're looking for a job as a flight attendant.
That's right.
Yeah.
Love
Okay. Tell me about your qualifications. Tell me about your resume, your life.
So
like
what
that.
you need to know about my approach to the flight attendant business is that I'm all about the experience. Now, first off, that includes a buffet that I bring with me everywhere I go. So every passenger on the flight will have unlimited eating options. Now, that's obviously a huge perk. But another second, more subtle perk is that I also carry fairy dust with me everywhere I go.
Fairy dust.
And this would include two different kinds, the literal kind and the illegal kind. And so that's like drugs. It's like
Right.
not,
I get that. Yeah.
Okay, so
I understand.
and so this just enhances the experience in every way. It either helps people fly themselves, just a little bit of fairy dust to help you fly, or it really elevates the mental experience that you have while you're flying. It takes your mind off of all the other things.
I see.
Now, the third thing that also connects well with that last is a flaming sword that I have hidden in my back pocket, but I can whip out whenever I want. And let me tell you, when somebody is already in a heightened mental state, the appearance of somebody with a flaming sword in front of them really jolts them to life.
I feel like that's just pure terror.
But you don't forget it.
That's definitely a strong mood. I can't help but notice that you are usually honest. What if the plane is about to crash and you need to lie to the passengers that it's not going to crash? What are you going to do then?
There's a reason it says usually honest, and it's for those times. Throughout the rest of the flight, I will 100% be honest with the passengers about what my job is, what I intend to provide them. But at this point, sometimes it's a little better to twist the truth a little bit. I might say we have some turbulence going on, and if you need your mind taken off of that, I have some options.
Very excellent. I can't help but notice that everything about your appearance and resume is designed to be explicitly terrifying. So I think I'm going to have to pass on you, and I'm going to have to award you the job. Thank you so much for coming. I can't wait to see you in the air. In fact, I know that you can fly, but, she just has the quality.
I'll be right next to the plane.
Right next to the plane the whole time. Thank you so much.
I'd
Well,
love to.
it looks like Lucas didn't get a job this time. He's still on the search. So if you need to hire somebody, check out your boy. I'd like to thank our guests, Lexi and Carter, for coming on the show, and of course Landon, as always.
And before we go,
oh yes, an announcement.
of course we have an announcement. Now, many of you tuned into our social media this week and helped us make a momentous decision that I'm unable to announce right now because I have my mouth full of peanut butter sandwich.
However, the polls for what our fans should be called overwhelmingly were in favor of Fanders. So it looks like you're called Fanders now. Second place was Standers, also very good, although a little bit more confusing if you don't know about standing. So
So thank you all for voting, and thank you for tuning in tonight. We hope you have a great weekend and tune in next Friday to see us.
See you later.
I'm Sander.
And I'm Zander.
Good night.
Good night.